Hey everybody, welcome to Kyle Not Kyle Show. I'm Kyle.
I am not Kyle.
And welcome to our Week 1 review and Week 2 preview. So we started off 0-0 this year. We were tied at the end of last year on our picks. And after
literally tied.
Yeah, literally. We tied straight down the middle. Thank you, Patriots, for helping me get that tie. So at the end of the week, I am 5-2. And Not Kyle is 6-1 because I foolishly decided to put my faith in the Denver Broncos. Raiders came out fired up and got that win.
The Bears. You foolishly picked the Bears. That's the only one we didn't pick.
I'm sorry. I was thinking you picked the Bears too. Yeah. All right. So I foolishly picked the Bears and the Broncos. Double B's cost me dearly here. So NFL kicked off Thursday night with the Packers and the Bears. Final score: Packers 10, Bears 3.
That was like a 1960s. It's funny that they were talking about the old rivalries with Hallis and stuff. That's what that game reminded me of.
Yeah. They wanted to celebrate. They wanted to celebrate the 100 years. So this was going all over Twitter. A lot of Patriots fans like, yeah. I think they thought they were supposed to play like it was 100 years ago because that was an old school game. My biggest question from this game, and this is something that you and I have talked about and other people I've chatted with have said the same thing. After this game, the question is, was Green Bay's defense actually that improved and really that good, or was Trubisky that bad? Or was it a combo of both?
Average quarterback. Trubisky is an average quarterback.
For being the third overall pick, he is a dangerously average quarterback.
but it's not like he's going to throw trying to figure out what kind of class to put him in. He reminds me of, now he is not Deshaun Watson and he is not Mahomes.
Yeah, the two guys that were taken after him.
He's not even. They're looking at him in the rearview mirror, way back where items are closer than they look. He still looks far away, even in the items closer than they look.
Yeah,
but I don't think he is a bad quarterback.
No. I mean, hey,
however,
it helps when you have a receiver like Allen Robinson.
I totally believe, and I talked about this when we were where we were, the Packers spent a lot of money getting that defense.
Yes, they did.
And that defense showed up, and the defense won the game, I think.
Yes,
I think the Bears defense did what the Bears defense did. They looked rock solid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to put up 400 yards against that team. I don't care who you are. It's just not going to happen.
No.
But the problem is they need their offense to score at least 14 points. Yep. I would actually say 17 points.
Yeah.
Because I can see the Bears holding every team that they play this year to 21 or less points. I could see them doing that. But I just don't think that offense can generate that kind of points against a more elite defense that they play. And when we were talking about, I think hands down, it's not even close. That division has the best defenses in the NFL as a whole. All the Detroit's defense, Minnesota's defense, Chicago's defense, and Green Bay's defense. Yeah, I'd put all four of those as a totality against any other division that there is.
Yeah, no, I agree. Allen Robinson, you and I were talking about this watching the game live. Man, what a game he is. He's a great weapon for. Oh my gosh, some of those catches he made, like the one where the foot he couldn't get the foot out of bounds. I'm like, okay, can we please count that? That he got 1 foot in, and that he was trying with all his might to get that second foot down in bounds.
Like I've said before too, first 4 games to me, every team's getting into football shape.
Yep.
I mean, you could see them. They were gassed both sides. They were gassed into the first quarter.
Yeah. No, I agree. One interesting note that I found, and I don't think I realized this quite as much watching it live as I did when I was looking over the stat lines and stuff. There were 10 sacks total in this game, 5 each. I was like, whoa, that's. I do too. I'm not used to seeing that high of a sack number with both teams getting 5. Usually it's going one way or the other.
And also that's a route usually.
Yeah, exactly,
One
exactly.
team scored 24 or 40, and the other team looked at 5 to 10 points.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good game. I really enjoyed that one.
What I liked about that game too,
because I like defense, so
I could see Chicago going into Green Bay and beating them.
Yeah.
I didn't walk away from this game going, oh, Packers dominated them, man. They're going to take that division. It's like, that's going to be a tough division. Like I said before, that is going to
It was 0-0 at halftime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 0-0
and
at
hard
halftime.
fought 0-0.
Exactly. Yeah. There were some hard hits there. So then moving on, we have the reigning NFC champion Los Angeles Rams playing the Carolina Panthers. Final score: Rams 30, Panthers 27.
That was a good game.
It was a good game.
Panthers defense is the real deal.
Yeah.
And the Rams, I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. I just think it's the way the NFL is now. They, to me, are the ultimate mercenary team. Every year they're buying their positions. It's mercenary.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Their defense didn't lose a step from last year.
No.
I don't think at all. Especially for losing some big pieces that they had last year. And then this year, they looked solid. Their offense didn't look as good. Gurley looked fantastic.
Yeah.
But their offense just Cooks didn't look that good. Goff didn't look that good.
I don't think any of them had over 100 yards.
I don't know if Goff had over 200 yards.
Yeah, I don't.
It was a good game. For a while, the Rams were out ahead of them by a pretty decent amount of points.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we both picked the Rams. And
couple interesting notes. So Christian McCaffrey led in both rushing and receiving for the Panthers. So Panthers, when you spend a first-round pick on a wide receiver 2 years ago, you probably should make sure that he's getting the ball, able to do that.
I think him, and I mean they weren't on the list, and it showed Barkley hardly got the ball, and they got their ass handed to him.
Yeah.
But I think that when McCaffrey, especially McCaffrey, because he came out in front of Barkley, when his time comes up, he is going to be the highest paid running back of all time because of what you just said.
Yeah.
He's also their leading receiver. If he goes out, I don't even know what they do.
Yeah.
Newton goes out, I'm going, okay, they got a backup quarterback. They still have McCaffrey. They can
just feed McCaffrey. McCaffrey.
Yeah, toss him the ball, whatever.
Yeah.
If he goes out, I'm going, really? You expect Newton to put up 400 yards?
Yeah. Which, interesting, Newton only had one attempt of 20-plus yards. I do believe they said that's the first time ever that's happened with him, where he only had one pass attempt of 20 or more yards. Which someone asked him about it in the post-game press conference. I got a little bit of a chuckle because he said he's like, man, I think offensive coordinator Norv Turner, he wanted me to give the ball to McCaffrey a lot. I think he was playing him in fantasy this week.
But that's why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying when Brady has 225 yards and he's hit the running back and Edelman.
Yeah.
That's where all those are. It's like, okay, he's still doing the job.
Exactly. There was a nasty injury for Ram safety Eric Weddle. He was bleeding all over. He was practicing this week already, so they're thinking he's going to play.
It was a cut. It wasn't a concussion. It was a cut.
Well, see, he went into, because it was a head injury, he did go into concussion protocol.
Yeah. You're bleeding on your head. They're going to put you in concussion.
You're good. You're good, man. You don't need you're fine. Get back out there. Rub some dirt on it. That was overall, I enjoyed watching that game. I always enjoy watching McCaffrey. Just got to see. The O-line, is that still a concern for the Panthers? He got sacked. Newton got sacked 3 times. Which
I don't disagree with that, but he has. This is just evaluation of quarterbacks. He's holding the ball longer.
Yep.
He's not trying to scramble as quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go with your buddy Max Kellerman on who's falling off a cliff, I think Newton might be at that point of falling off. His passes are hard and low, and I mean hard and low, not by design. I watched some of Breeze's passes where it was like, okay, that pass was literally went 18 yards, 2 feet off the ground. That was a designed low pass.
Yeah.
Newton's passes are released high, coming down low, almost like his throwing motion is he's letting go of the ball farther than what he wanted to.
Yeah.
Which might be that shoulder injury. I don't know, but I don't. Yeah, that's my view on the whole.
And speaking of injuries, we'll move on to the game that had a ton of injuries to starting players. Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars. Chiefs won 26.
You were right. You said they were going to whoop their ass, and that was an ass whooping.
Well,
but I think it was an ass whooping because Flacco went down. He was doing, or not
Foles.
Flacco, Foles. They look the same, too.
Right.
They're these tall, lanky guys.
Foles was 5 of 8 before he went out. Gardner Minshew from Washington State.
That guy did fine.
So here's his fine. Here's his stat line. Where'd it go? I had it. 22 of 25 for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Coming in as a 6th-round draft pick this year. And yeah, he looked. I mean, I loved him coming out of Washington State. I was honestly really hoping that New England would take him. Just, I fell in love with him watching Washington State last year, so I was happy for him. They basically said, look, we're rolling with him. Foles is going on IR. We'll bring him back. Foles broken left collarbone. They tentatively say November is when he should come back.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And then Tyreek Hill also left with an injury. He had a sternal clavicular joint injury. Expected back. I think Sammy Watkins said the team's thinking he'll be back 6 to 8 weeks.
Watkins stepped up, man.
Oh my gosh.
I just get Mahomes and go
9 of 11 for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I look at Mahomes. I look at Mahomes and Watson. Mm-hmm. And even Goff to a lesser extent and Wentz than those two. Mm-hmm. And then the Baker Mayfield, even though he was out there throwing the ball like, bet me I can't hit this quarter down the end of the on the turf. I could do it. And then who was the other guy that went in with him? Who's the other quarterback that got drafted with Mayfield?
Josh Allen for Buffalo.
Allen and
Rosen.
And no, who's the guy? Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold. I was going. I was 3 years ago. I was going. Okay, so when Breeze and Brady retire, and Rivers and Manning retire, and Roethlisberger retires, who are we gonna have? Who?
Oh, we got Mahomes and Watson now.
Oh, I know. I was like, I'm more excited for those guys. I'm like going, this is fun. This is gonna be good. These guys getting this guy, and then the guy for Baltimore was exciting to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I loved his comment post game in his press conference. Someone was asking him. I said, "Yeah, not bad for a running back, huh?" I'm like, oh, he heard all that talk this offseason. I loved it.
Well, that guy you talked about him when we were watching the draft, Hollywood or whatever. Man, that guy's got some wheels.
Yes, he does.
But I'm telling you, I don't know how many pass routes he knows how to run.
Right.
I don't even know if they're going to have him run more than 4.
Just run a go, run a post.
Well, that's pretty much what it was. And it reminded me of Deshaun Jackson, how he was you're going, oh, he's not that fast. He took 27 steps to go 20 yards, but he looked like a cartoon character. It's like, just gone.
Jackson had that nice long touchdown catch too. He looked good.
5 deep threats.
Yeah. LaShawn McCoy reunited with Andy Reid. He had a decent game, 81 yards on 10 attempts. They'll be a nice little safety valve there for Mahomes.
I'm interested to see how their offense. I am also going to go back to Jacksonville's offense wasn't a powerhouse, and they put up points.
Yep. I mean, hey, Mahomes had a good stat line, 25 of 33, 378 yards for a 15.1 yard average.
Yeah.
With 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Yeah. What's funny about that is they look at him and go, "Yeah, that was a pretty good game for him." That's a phenomenal game for any quarterback in the NFL. I don't care who it is. 300 some odd yards, 3 touchdowns.
Just another Sunday.
I'm like going, oh my gosh, this poor guy is going to be. What? You didn't throw for 5 touchdowns? Are you sick? What?
He's falling off a cliff.
yeah, falling off a cliff.
All right. Moving on to the next game, matchup of 2 NFC teams. We have the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Final score: Vikings 28, Falcons 12. If you looked at the yardage the quarterbacks threw for, you would have sworn the score was opposite.
Well, the Vikings were just pounding him.
Oh,
just pounding him.
Oh my gosh!
Defensively and offensively. I don't know. I know this is going to sound weird, but I only think because I watched the first half, and then I didn't watch the third quarter. I think I only saw the $80 million man throw 3 times or 4 times.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Cousins
he only had 98 yards. No wide receiver or running back had 50 or more yards except for running back Dalvin Cook. He had 111 yards rushing and 9 receiving.
Well, he hit Thielen early on in the first quarter for like 25 yards. Cousins did. And then it was pretty much like they do with, okay, go ahead. We're going to rest your arm.
Yeah.
Just let Dalvin Cook run the ball, which he did.
He looked like he did at Florida State.
Oh, he was, it's not like their defense too. Their defense was all over Matt Ryan, just all over Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah, he got sacked 4 times.
They were all over him.
So here's Matt Ryan's stat line. 33 of 46 for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, then he was sacked 4 times. So normally I'd see the 304 yards and the 2 touchdowns, like, oh, he had a decent game. But both touchdowns came with less than 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. It was a whooping. It was a whooping.
So once again, with all this talent around him and all this team is talent. The Falcons have a good team. Granted, so do the Vikings. They have a very, very good team.
Yeah, that's why I keep dinging that NFC North bell.
Yeah, no.
I think they're the most complete set of teams.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the Titans and the Browns.
That was hysterical.
I'm sorry, not the Titans and the Browns. I wrote that down by mistake. We'll brush on it briefly. Yeah, Titans. Don't think anyone thought. Did the team switch uniforms? Because the way everyone predicted this game was go. The Browns were supposed to score 43, and the Titans were supposed to score 13.
I think in their head, the Browns, and I still think in their head, the Browns scored 43 points.
Yeah.
That was an interesting game to watch. I haven't watched one of those kinds of games in a long time.
I kept waiting for the Browns to do something. All right.
They would like, okay, Baker Mayfield runs out, hits Jarvis Landry in this weird, awesome catch, makes an awesome catch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's going to person watching the football game. That's your one highlight for 18 minutes.
Right.
Then we're going to hand it over to the Tennessee Titans, who you didn't think were going to do anything, and they're the team to watch.
Oh, yeah. So, bringing it to the Sunday night game, the defending Super Bowl champs.
Oh, my God.
Dropped the 6th banner and also dropped the butt whooping on the Steelers. Final score, Patriots 33, Steelers 3.
Okay, before we go any further, we got it, because we'll be referencing this all year, and people will be going, what are these two morons talking about? First off, we will say it's a rivalry game because Pittsburgh has said it's a rivalry game. Just to let everybody know, it's about as far from a rivalry game as possible. Yeah. Patriots own the Steelers. I mean, it's one of those stats like we've played them 17 times and we've beat them 15 or 14 of those times.
Oh, yeah.
But the Steelers fans keep making it sound like there's a rivalry game.
It's not a rivalry.
Second of all, that we'll be saying this whole year is there is a was he a sports announcer named Max? Is it Max Kellerman?
Yeah, Max Kellerman.
Who just, I don't know why he hates Tom.
4 years ago. 4 years ago.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons that he could be saying, but the reasons he does say that that Brady's going to be, for the last 4 years now, he's been saying, play-wise, Brady's going to fall off a cliff. He's going to fall right off a cliff.
He'll be a bum in short order.
Yeah.
That was also
so when we say words like it's a rivalry game, we're referencing the ridiculousness of the Steelers Patriots one, and then falling off a cliff is that reference,
which I've already said several times today. So
yeah.
So yeah.
So now go rewind it, and that'll make a little bit more sense. It won't completely make sense, but it'll make a little more sense.
Yeah. So I have my two main takeaways from this game.
Brady's falling off a cliff, and it's a rivalry game.
No. No. This defense for New England is good. This offense for New England is good. This defense was missing its leading tackler from last year, Kyle Van Noy. Congratulations to him and his wife, Marissa. They had their first kid Sunday night. Nice little post-game locker room video of Bill holding up Kyle's FaceTiming with him, and all the team's happy. And Jonathan Kraft was very upset that they didn't name him Jonathan. No, this was a great game.
This was not a great game.
Okay, for me, it was a great game. Okay, I loved it. I was shouting all night.
I hate lopsided games. I'm going to go back and now allow you to, as I said, what would happen after this game. Do you still have the Steelers taking that division?
See, this is the I can't disagree or agree because, again, this was their rivalry game where we historically, especially in Foxborough, the last 4 or 5 years, we kick their butts. It is not a close game. So for me, it's too soon. I'm trying to temper with New England, I'm not going to temper my expectations or my reactions. With the other 31 teams in the NFL, I will try to.
Right, but you can't lead with, I don't disagree that they got a good defense. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
However, when you go, they have a really good defense. They just played a team that they've whooped ass on for the last 15 times. So that proves they got a really good defense. It's like when they go play the Jets or the Bills and they're going to end up winning, or Miami, and you get the typical Bill Belichick. Yeah, Miami's a good team. No, Bill, they
just lost 5 touchdowns to a goal.
No, they're not. They got rid of every one of their good starters. Don't tell me. They're a professional football team, which you gotta put that in order. They are a professional football team, but don't tell me if you were playing New Orleans or Dallas, you got the same mentality of when you're playing the Dolphins.
Yeah. Which, here's an interesting fun fact. This is a little bit on the Rob Gronkowski effect. They ran more plays Sunday night without a tight end than they did all of last season.
They don't have a tight end. Well, is Watson?
Watson's suspended for 3 more games.
Okay.
Then he's back. Josh Gordon, oh man, that was great. He looked comfortable on the field this year, and his post game I was listening to, he sounded mentally a lot better than he did last year. So happy. I'd be happy for him no matter where he was. I'm not trusting him at this point. Still, I'm still waiting. 5-6 weeks down the road, what's going to happen then?
I think this is just me, and I think it'll happen maybe week 12-ish to 15-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think they're going to really miss Gronkowski. Because Edelman's over the middle. I mean, I even text you. That's what I'm going to start calling him. Over the middle Edelman. Over the middle. That guy's money. And he gets targeted a bunch of times. And Brady has had Welker and Edelman for a bulk of his career, where you got a guy that can move the chains, and that's what that is. And they did that. And that's what sets up the entire team.
And we've got his heir apparent on the team as well. Gunnar Olszewski back there, return punts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Next
yeah,
Edelman. Interesting note.
There's no. I'm trying to even look at. I didn't realize it until I watched that game. Mm-hmm. I actually think, and I wouldn't have thought this last year or any year previously. I think Edelman might be the most valuable offensive player on that team, outside of Brady, obviously, because that is Brady's go-to. That's the call. Yeah. And I think the other kind of weird. It's kind of weird. The other go-to thing is turning around and dumping it off to White.
Yep. Which interesting note about Edelman. I was listening a little bit to again Scott Zolak, 98.5 Sports Hub. He's the radio color commentator for New England, for those of you who don't know. When I talk, this is another thing. Whenever I mention Zoe, that's who I'm talking about. He said that he was talking to former defensive end Rob Ninkovich, who in the preseason, and he said that he doesn't understand how no one does this. Do you know Edelman had a clean release off the line of scrimmage every snap on Sunday?
He did it on Super Bowl. No one shoves him.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And Ninkovich says, I don't get it, because Bill is always telling us, especially like on the guys like that where it's a timing thing. It's not when he's here in the route, it's, hey, you need to throw the ball to him at this point in time. He said, Bill tells you, if he's in your area, hit him. Even if it's just, brush him as you're going on a pass rush, guess what? Now you've thrown off their timing just enough that it could be an incompletion. He says, and no one else does it.
You know why else I think that might be? Is because he is so much smaller than everybody else. And if they did that, he might fall over and then call pass interference.
Right.
Or something. Who knows? I noticed that in the Super Bowl. He was coming off. No one was. And they were like letting him come off the ball, off the line.
Yeah.
They weren't touching him.
Yeah. In the last 3 games, so Sunday night, the Super Bowl, and the AFC Championship game, New England has held their opponent to 0 points in the first half. So I saw it. I'm like, okay, I like that. Brady's got a pretty good record when he's up at halftime. He's got a pretty decent record when he doesn't, but hey, that's what happens when you're going for 20 years. Which that was hilarious. In the post game, Drew Bledsoe was there, and he comes up, gives Brady a hug. He's like, "Yeah, I'm about the only guy that can call you a young guy anymore. Around this team. Not many others going to say, hey, I remember you young guy there." And he's like, "Yeah, you and Willie basically."
What, didn't you say wasn't the one they were showing some stat that he played against?
Yeah,
on Sunday on Pittsburgh. Played against him, and then earlier in Brady's career, Brady played against his dad.
Yeah, so in 2001, Brady faced Devin Bush Sr., who played for the Cleveland Browns, and then Sunday night he faced Devin Bush Jr. in 2019. So I saw that stat. I just started dying. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But yeah, so that's it for the Sunday games. We'll get to the 2 Monday night games. So we're going to start out with the first one, which
both of them were good. I was like,
they were both good. I enjoyed both. Saints Texans, man, what a game! This is going to be one of those when you look back at what were the great games of the season. This is going to be one of them that's up there. I'm pretty sure. Saints get literally the last second win, 30-28 over the Texans. Gosh, that was.
And this is something I mean, it might be. I didn't really pay attention. There were 3 overtime games. Week 1.
Yeah, and a tie. A tie.
The tie was an overtime game, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It ended in a tie.
Which then I had to listen to everybody's point on ties.
Right.
There should be ties. And I'm one of those people who go, at the end of the fourth quarter, it should be the end of the fourth quarter. That's it. And then the ties become part of the game.
Yep.
As opposed, they play an extra quarter, and if I'm a player, I'm going. Yeah. I played 5 games this year, or I played an extra game.
Yeah. So this was interesting. This is per the Saints and NFL research. Mike Thomas was the only wide receiver in Week 1 with 10 or more targets, 10 or more receptions, and 100+ receiving yards. Which I thought that was an interesting little stat. And so Will Lutz, the kicker, and I went back and I checked, and sure enough, as soon as he kicked it and saw that it was lining up to go, he started celebrating. He didn't even care that he was kicking a 58-yarder. The minute he sees it going, he starts going straight. He started celebrating.
Well, he cleared it too. He cleared it.
Cleared
it wasn't I mean, he might have been able to do a 62.
Yeah. So both teams total yards had over 400 yards. The Texans had 448. The Saints had 518.
Oh man, Watson's just a man. I love it. It's Mahomes. It's like I can throw it for a 5-yard, but it's like a personal insult if I throw it 5 yards. 45 yards, I'm on it. I watched it.
Which talk about a personal insult. DeAndre Hopkins tried to turn the NFL into the WWE with that suplex on the Saints defensive back. I'm at work, and all of a sudden my phone just starts going crazy. I'm like, what the heck happened? And then I find the highlight and start cracking up. I'm like, you idiot. You did that right in front of the Saints bench. I'm like, are you trying to get your butt kicked on the field by half the Saints team?
That guy that picked it off was all over Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean, all over it. I mean, it was one of those. Hopkins dropped 2 balls too.
Yeah.
They weren't easy catches. It's not like he dropped something that just was in his hand.
Yeah.
But it was.
The biggest concern for me for Houston, you traded a first-round pick for Laramie Tunsil, and I know he can't do it by himself. Watson got sacked 6 times.
Yes, but I'm just going to say this. Who is the tight end for the Texans? You don't even know. Because he doesn't throw it less than 40 yards.
Is it Fedorowicz?
He won't throw it short. So he will stand in that pocket or start juking around because Hopkins isn't open 40 yards down the field. I'm telling you, I was watching this going, this guy's getting hit a lot and tackled and sacked and pushed out of there because he won't turn around and dump it to his running back unless that's the design play. He's going, I'm going to throw it to – because the other guy they picked up, is it Stills?
Yeah, Kenny Stills.
He's a deep threat too.
And so's Will Fuller.
Yeah, they're all like chuck the ball down the field. The problem is
that's going to change when they get Kiki Cootie back.
But they don't have him, so it doesn't matter.
No. I think they're saying he'll be back week 4.
I'm just saying. I don't completely blame that offensive line.
No, and I agree. Which I will give some credit to the Saints.
Cam Jordan and the other guy were a handful before Tunsil. Yeah,
which I will give some credit to the Saints offensive line. So a couple years back, J.J. Watt was mic'd up. I mean, he was just killing. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. He was killing the left tackle. And at one point, he just looks like I says, "You stink." And then he walks over towards the Saints sideline and says, "Hey, you guys need to try someone else out at left tackle. Like, I love Drew Brees. I don't like hurting him." Yeah. So last year, they drafted Ryan Ramczyk in the first round. This year, Ryan Ramczyk faced off against J.J. Watt, and for the first time in 105 career games, J.J. Watt failed to record at least one tackle or a QB hit. And so everyone started joking, like, well, I guess the Saints listened to him. Yeah, he had a quiet game. But also
he was still there.
There's no Clowney, so he's getting more double teams.
Well, no, the other thing is he was still there.
Oh yeah.
They were running the opposite side. And I'm telling you, the other thing is Kamara is that guy, he could have the ball. He could be going, okay, we're going to run a 28. Well, I'm going to turn this into a 17 or 19. Yeah. I'm going to run the other direction, and that's just how this is going to go.
Yeah.
He
ran 30 yards to get 20.
Yeah, and I was watching. He does some kind of off-season balancing training where he's being hit standing on one foot, standing crotch down, all for balance.
Yeah.
And it showed. That guy is so hard to get down. I saw him spin go down, go I mean, the only other guy I ever really saw do crazy balance stuff like that was Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
You'd watch him go, did he touch the ground? It looked like he just did a limbo.
Yeah.
But
right.
He didn't touch the ground. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And they shook that opening game loss deal that they do every year.
Right. Which one note, Booger McFarland, he called this game. He was up in the booth. He was actually a lot more enjoyable up in the booth than he was on the sideline last year. And ESPN got bullied into changing their graphics by halftime of the first game. Their down and distance marker down in the corner, it was yellow. And so every time it would change, it would flash. People kept on thinking there was a flag. Like, what is going on? So, I mean, Twitter was just all buzz. And then the head honcho for ESPN at halftime was like, okay, we've heard you. We're changing it. And after that, for both games, it was just a black logo for, first and 10, second and 10. And I was like, well, hey, because I noticed that watching the Sunday night game and the Thursday night game, when down in the corner, the NBC logo would interchange with the NFL logo. And it, did this digital pixelated change, but the pixels were yellow, so I kept thinking there was a flag after every other play. I'm like, what is going on? But I'm like, okay, if you and I are thinking that, why are the guys who are getting paid the big bucks to do this not? Anyway, moving on to the final
we're not
game.
Getting paid big bucks for this?
No, I'm sorry.
Lying to me all
sorry,
this?
I'm sorry. The rewards are in here. So the final game.
Getting screwed. I'm a Giants fan. There's no rewards in here. It's melted ice. That's what that is.
So the final game of week 1.
I'm gonna go out and say, of all the games that we picked this week, this was the game I thought was just gonna be a bad game to watch. I thought it was gonna be. And I just thought it was going to be like one of those, okay, yeah, they gotta play them. I mean, they have to put the Broncos and the Raiders on the schedule for the first 4 games.
Yeah.
This was a really good game.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. Carr looked good. He had a great game.
Their defense looked good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that defense.
But it's not like the Broncos looked bad.
No. Cortland Sutton, oh my gosh, he carried that offense for the first half for what? I mean, they got no points, but he was the only one that was getting any consistent moving of the ball. But
I think Flacco is gonna. I think he's gonna do considerably better than Keenum did last year.
Yeah.
And I think them picking up it's Fant, right?
Yeah.
Fant, the tight end. I think that's gonna improve their team considerably.
I agree. Raiders pitched the first half shutout. And the score, it's the Broncos in the fourth quarter started getting some scoring and stuff. For me also this game, and I think it showed, Oakland wanted to send a message that they had moved on. They had all the offseason drama was behind them. They're focused on football. And one thing I really liked, after the game, Gruden goes over, he shakes Vic Fangio's hand, and then he starts sprinting, immediately starts sprinting. I'm like, where is he going? He went right over to the stands and started shaking hands and clapping hands and thanking the fans that were in that first row there for coming. And I was like, hey, you know what? That's awesome, because they weren't supposed to be playing here this year. They thought they were going to be moving, and then they stayed. So I just thought that was really cool, because I saw some of the players were kind of filtering over too, which, I've said this before, I have the utmost respect for the loyal fans of the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they've stuck by that team through so many bad years.
They're crazy. What are you talking about?
I know they're crazy. They're crazy.
They're all crazy. Anybody that paints their face up all the time, I'm like going, okay, this isn't a normal person. Good
AFC West rivalry game.
It was a good game.
Game. It really was. So you're going to spring this on me, because I actually don't know what games we're picking this week. So
why you make the big bucks.
Yeah. This is what I pay you
Well, are we gonna? Is that gonna be the second half, or are we gonna cut and go?
No, we're just gonna do one.
Okay.
Just due to some time constraints today.
Thursday night game is Bucks at Panthers.
Bucks at Panthers.
The first AFC game, and we changed. You and I did, but we didn't put anything up.
Yeah.
First AFC game is Colts at Titans. There are two NFC games that we're doing. The first is the Saints at the Rams. The second is the Vikings at the Packers.
Okay.
The Sunday night game is Eagles at Falcons. And the Monday night game is the Browns at the Jets. And as of this morning,
Sam Darnold is out indefinitely with mono.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times for him, huh?
Oh.
Which, oh my gosh, speaking of which, Adam Gase's post game, oh my gosh, he had zero accountability. He basically said, well, you know, my quarterback didn't play, my defense didn't do anything, running backs, wide receivers couldn't get open, blah, blah. Like, took no blame on himself there. I'm like, dude, you're the head coach, man. You got to take the blame. Like, you never see Bill blame the players. He's always, I got to coach better, we got to execute better, we got to perform. But he always starts with, got to coach better. All right, anyway, so on to our picks.
So, wait a minute. Did you just critique a coach in the AFC East?
I know, right? I'm shocking. Shocking. These aren't rivalries. I think this is a pretty easy Thursday night pick. Obviously, I'm picking the Panthers.
I am picking the Panthers as well.
Colts,
but I think it's going to be a better game than people think.
Yeah. I am going to go Tennessee. This is a close one, but I'm going to give the advantage to the home team.
Okay. I'm taking the Titans too, but let me just say something about the Colts.
Uh-huh.
They are going to do fine.
Mm-hmm.
That running back, Marlon Mack, that guy is a stud.
Yes, he is.
Brissett, I think, give him 2 more games.
Yep.
And they might go on a 9-game winning streak.
Yep.
I wouldn't count if they're 0-3. I still am not going to count them out of making the playoffs. That Chargers game, they were in San Diego. They were in Los Angeles. They were in the soccer field.
Yeah.
And they looked sharp. They looked good.
Oh,
if it wasn't for Vinatieri,
yeah,
which is weird to say.
I know. How often in the last 20 years have we said, yeah, if it hadn't been for Vinatieri missing, they'd have won?
Never. I don't know if that's ever happened. Well, but it did. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point.
Yeah.
I am not going to be shocked if the Colts go into Tennessee and beat the Titans there. However, that Tennessee team I saw on Sunday against Cleveland,
they're ready to go.
They were playing like if none of us might be here, and it might be in the locker room that, hey, if we don't make the playoffs and do okay, Mariota's not going to be here next year. Do we really want to be rebuilding?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but they played hard.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. So I'm taking Tennessee as well.
So then we have a rematch of the NFC Championship game.
Next 3 games, man. These are hard to pick.
I'm going with my first instinct on this one. I am gonna go with the Saints. Just because they want this game, but Peyton's not gonna let them get overrun by their emotions. He's say, hey, it's week 2 of this season. We're not worried about what happened last season. We're pissed off still, but we want to avoid that position. Let's go beat them so that maybe we don't even have to face them in the playoffs, but we're going to get to the playoffs. So I'm going with the Saints. I will not be shocked if the Rams win, but I'm going with the Saints.
I'm taking the Rams because it's the home field.
Okay.
If the Rams were going into New Orleans, I'd be taking New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Rams.
All right, and then so we have a NFC North matchup: Minnesota Vikings going into Lambeau Field. I'm gonna go with Vikings on this one.
So am I, and only because remember at the beginning when I told you, I think Chicago, Green Bay, and the Vikings are all going to split in the opposite person's field.
I think so too.
So we're both taking the Vikings.
We'll take the Vikings. Philly at Atlanta. I'm going to go with Philly.
Really?
I am. Carson Wentz. He looked good. Deshaun Jackson. He's back home. He's doing great. And I'm not sold on that Atlanta defense yet.
I'm taking Atlanta.
You're taking Atlanta
because it's the Dome. It's the first game there. That's it. If they were headed to Philadelphia, I'd take Philadelphia.
No, it's their second game or second season in the new Dome.
No. They opened last week, not at home. They went to Minnesota, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were saying it was their first game ever in the new Dome. I'm like, no. They have
No.
Okay, sorry.
If I said that, that's not what I.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is their home. This is their home opener.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I'm taking them.
Okay. And then the Monday night game, as we referenced earlier, Cleveland Browns at the New York Jets. I am taking Cleveland to get their win.
So am I.
And even if Sam Darnold had been playing, and I saw Le'Veon Bell's getting an MRI on his shoulder, I'm still, even before that, I was taking the Browns. With that, I'm definitely taking the Browns.
Yeah.
So those are our week 2 picks.
So it's a 2-game swing here.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, when I won those 2 games and you've lost, there's going to be this big spread.
Here we go. All right, yeah.
You're walking off a cliff, Kyle.
Oh, no. I'm going to be a bum. Let's see. Is this when I'm supposed to just start flipping the newspaper and not paying attention and then just walk off set? Is that what I'm supposed to do here? All right, so that was our week 1 recap and week 2 preview. Enjoy.
This is a long one.
Yeah, we apologize.
From this point forward, probably we'll be splitting them up into 2.
Yeah. This was just kind of a matter of timing thing that we had going. So be sure to give us a like on our Facebook page at the Kyle and Not Kyle Show, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we appreciate all the support you guys are getting us. Feel free to comment any critiques or suggestions, or
we hit 3 subscribers.
And leave your picks down below if you want. And we'll see you next week, and enjoy week 2 of the NFL, guys.